Hey guys, Steve Plaster Man here, and have you ever wondered how they made, let's say, fireplace mantles or on bridges, the pilasters, the round pilasters made of concrete, or let's say large columns like at a Capitol building, a state building or something, the great big round bases? Well, today we're going to talk about that. Those are called hard molds, and we're going to give you an idea of how they're made. There's three things I'm going to break this down into that we need to consider when you're building a hard mold. Number one is design. Well, let me show you. I always make a little sketch of what I'm doing. This is kind of a sketch of the fireplace mantle we're making today. This is what this is a leg for a fireplace mantle. But you want to know the design of it and have an idea of how you're going to construct it. The second thing you want to consider is the strength or weight of the product you're going to be making. Let's say that you're going to be casting a concrete base for something, and you want to make sure that when you pour that your mold, your hard mold, is going to be solid enough, sound enough. Like this mold here, you can kind of get a feel of it here, or you can see I have this thing, it's not going to fall apart. When you're pouring something or you're demolding it, you're going to need to be moving this thing around. I use screws, so I'm going to have to turn this thing, slide it around. Once the mold is poured, I'm going to have to be able to demold it, to take the screws out. I don't want to climb up on my table, but that's something you need to consider. The third thing is the materials you're going to use to make your mold, your hard mold. I like this material here. I would tell you the name of it, but I cannot pronounce it. So you can find it at your hardware stores. Both sides on this material, both sides has a finish. I like that because it keeps moisture and gives me a rather smooth surface. Now I'm going to rough mine up a little more. This particular casting, I want it rather smooth, but I want some imperfections. I don't want it too super smooth. The material that you're going to use, this is 3/4 inch thick. Whatever you're using, make sure that it's going to be strong enough to withstand what you're casting in it. And you might be doing a 1 or 2 time casting, or if you're going to be making multiple casts, you might want to build your mold a little better. Now I'm going to lay this over on its side, pull it around here. Inside here, I took a wooden frame. Hold on a second. I had a pattern. I had to modify this mold. This was a mold I had built years ago, but I had a pattern, and I cut this out. So I made 2 of these, and I put wooden strips all the way around through here, nailed them together from each side to produce this piece in here. And then this is a product you use on automotive, but it will stick to wood, and you can smooth it down, you can sand it down, work it. It's referred to it as a Bondo. I think that is particularly a brand name, but that's a material you use on automotive. I use it a lot in my shop. Moisture resistant, you can smooth it down, you can shape it. So I can get my shapes like this. A lot of people use fiberglass. That's for other things, but that gets into something else. But we're using mostly wood for our hard mold. Alright guys, so I want to give you some tips. Something that I do. Trust me, if you do this, and you make a mold, and let's say you're going to make something you're going to use 15, 20 times, maybe more, you're going to appreciate this. Right here's something that I do that simplifies a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to spray silver on this other end. It doesn't matter what color. But when you pick these up, you automatically are going to know where the ends go. This is doesn't hurt the inside of the mold. You're going to be using the outside, and trust me, it's going to get over splatter and stuff on it. But this is going to let you automatically just a visual, and you'll know where ends go. This. Now, there's something else I want to show you. So here's another little tip. I want to seal the top of this so no water gets in here. This is one way. I'm sure there's others, but this is something I like. It's a Forbes wax. It's used a lot in the ceramics industry. I buy my products, a lot of products, at High Water Clay in Asheville, North Carolina. A great place to stop by. Look them up online. They have a ton of stuff they sell, but I get the Forbes wax up there. I'm going to pour just a little bit out. It goes quite a ways. And it's just a liquid wax. And I'm going to brush this on. And that will help to seal this up. And you can do it a couple different times. But I'll go all around this and seal it up. And it takes maybe 45 minutes, an hour to dry, cure good. But that really seals it up. And that way we're not breaking our mold down. There will be moisture getting on that, trust me. So I'm going to finish this up and then we'll get to casting some. Alright guys, so we've cast this, and man, you feel that? Feel how hot that is? You can still feel the heat off of it. The material that I'm using has a positive expansion. Something I need to mention. Concrete does not have most of the time does not have a positive expansion. What I did, and one reason I did it, I kind of cast it in layers and keep building it out. I like to hollow the top a little bit to make it a little less the weight, but I don't really, something that's a very positive expansion, I don't want to pour it completely full because it'll actually crack the screws and stuff. So I do it in layers so the expansion comes inward to some extent. So let's go ahead and demold this. So what I want to do, I got some drywall pieces here that I'm going to lay under it. I'm going to flip this over, and I don't want to be damaging the edges here, so I'm going to put something a little bit softer. But I am going to take some of the screws out on this side. I'm getting ready to flip it over. So I don't take these out completely. I just pull them out so that it will release. I'm going to leave 2 screws in it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to push this over this way. Now guys, remember me talking about strength of your mold and weight? Well, this is why. So I'm going to flip this over now. And I have it resting on these pieces of drywall. I'm going to flip it over like this. So when I'm taking this apart, the product will be resting on these pieces of drywall. And as I'm doing this, I feel it starting to expand. Now, also something you guys may or may not, I am the world's worst to be concerned whether I got the proper type of cast, whether I did or did not get too many bubbles in it. I have a specific look I am going for. I believe we successfully accomplished that, but I'm always apprehensive. So I'm going to take my back side off here. Now you noticed how the ends, and I can feel this is really warm here. This product does heat. It generates heat. So always be familiar with the product you are using. We have a lot of quick setting cements that we didn't have before. And so, zoom over here. Now this is plasticine that I put between the board and the joint, and I kind of made a little, I wanted a little bit of a rounded corner. I didn't want a solid square, so that's what you're seeing right here is that plasticine. It's a kind of a sculpting clay. If I can reach around. Cameraman, where's that screw at right there? The moment of truth is coming up. Let's lay this over so you see the same thing there. Okay. Let us see how well this lifts. Voila. Still wet, so you're seeing some discoloration in it, but when this dries, this will be white. Now this plasticine comes right off. I did use white plasticine because this product is going to be a white finish. I'm fairly happy with it. I have a few imperfections and pits, and that's kind of what I was looking for. But anyway, so guys, this will be the base to the leg, as I call it, to one side of a fireplace mantle. We'll cast another, and then we'll put a cap on it and a top. But this is what you can get with what we call a hard mold. Alright guys, so I hope that this perhaps taught you something, maybe inspired you on how to do some of your projects. I personally think this is super cool. I like it. I really enjoy it. I hope maybe it inspires you to do some projects. Maybe start with some smaller things. But if you enjoyed this, I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel. We are now up over 1,000. Really appreciate that. And like I say, if you enjoyed it, like it, subscribe, Catch you on the next one.